What's up, good people? Good to see y'all today. Hope everything is going well in your life. Um, Personally, I can't complain. Life is really good. Uh, Today, I was able to have a rare opportunity while I was off from work. I didn't have any, things that I needed to do as far as like run errands or go to appointments or anything like that. So, I mean, this really doesn't happen often for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm always on the go. Just, you know, if I'm not at work, then there's some sort of thing that I need to take care of. A lot of times it can be like 7 days a week, even on Sundays. I try to chill, but like I got a couple chores and things I need to do on Sunday, but I try to reserve most of that day to just like recharge. You know what I'm saying? Get ready for the week coming up. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, man, I ain't want too much, man. Just want to come over here and kick it with y'all real quick, man. I mean, like thinking and having stuff, you know, uh, revealed to me, and as I receive revelation, you know what I'm saying. I want to pass that on to y'all too. You know what I mean? But that's at the end of the day, that's what it's really about. So the topic of today, as maybe you can already tell, is slow down, slow down. You know, we live in a society that, a really fast paced society. It's all about, you know, uh, working as much as you can, as fast as you can or whatever, and that's how you get ahead. That's what we've been, brainwashed to think. But I was a few minutes ago, I was just thinking about the direction of my life and everything. And I realized that in order for me to get ahead in the way that I want to, I'm going to have to slow down. I'm going to have to slow down. You know, all the day parties, the brunches and things like that, whatever. And I like, trust me, I like doing those things. You know what I'm saying? And the people that a lot of times we do it with, because it's just, it's all love, it's fun. We have a good time. But when it comes to like understanding the direction of your life, you know, uh, whether it's relational, whether it's business, whether it's just interpersonal, it may be that as well. You know, if we don't slow down enough and just listen to what the universe is telling us, you know, I think a lot of times we'll miss some things. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like when a person says, uh, there's, I seen red flags. You get what I'm saying? And I think the universe really will speak to us if we slow down long enough. And I think through that, we can make better decisions. We can change our lives in different ways. I think we could just actually be better off all around if we just slow down long enough. And I know that's hard. We got social media, we got the demands of the job, you know, everything is competing for our time. Everything, you know, like in 2025, maybe our brains are even getting overstimulated. I don't even know. It's just so much information coming at us at one time. And I don't know if that's natural. I don't know if that's the right thing to do. Even though I've done it, but is it really the right thing to do? I think individuals who sort of like unplug, you know, actually are more productive. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not caught up in that whole vicious cycle, you know. Um, and it might be a thing now that I think about it, that I should do. Maybe just fast. You know, if you want to use that word from social media, you know, a week. Just do it for a week. You know what I'm saying? And see, you know, see what the results gonna be. Because, you know, if you do it, I'm gonna do it. So I'll do it and you do it. Okay? That's a challenge. I challenge y'all 1 week fasting from social media. And then I want you to tell me, you know, like how it was for you. You get what I'm saying? Were you in withdrawals, or, you know what I'm saying? Was it, you know, no problem at all? You know, did you get more accomplished around the house? Whatever. I don't know, because the results will probably vary from person to person. So listen, man, I'm challenging y'all with that. You know what I'm saying? Let's just slow down. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much we got to do. You know, you got to think about traffic. You know, some of us, you know, we spend several hours in traffic a day just getting to work. Yeah. And then the job. The job wants all of your time, bro. And the greatest commodity you have besides life is your time. You know, I think it's designed to keep us so busy that we really don't focus on, you know, the things that are important, things that are on top of the list that we should be, you know, because we always got stuff going through our minds at all times, you know, never taking time to just slow down, just stop, just pause, you know, time out, and let me just sit back and just be quiet. You know, this morning I got up, I ain't even turned the radio on. Real talk. I ain't even want to hear the radio, man. I just wanted to hear from within and from without, you know. Uh, and I tell you, man, listen, it's a beautiful thing. I'm sitting out here, you know, at the park. You know, as you can see, it's trees behind me and everything. It's a nice day. You know, the sun is shining, but it's, you know, partly cloudy. But I mean, it's just a beautiful day to be out and just, you know, try to be at one with nature. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I love it. I think there is a really strong relationship between us and nature. For me, when it comes to experiencing the divine, the creator of all this, you know, I've always been able to have a bigger impact on understanding the creator through nature and feel closer, you know, whether it's in a park like this, whether it's in a desert, in the ocean, whatever the case may be, it's just, we're a part of that. And I think, you know, a lot of us are at one with it. And if you're not, then, you know, I was, you know, just suggest, you know, get out sometime, you know, take walks, go to places where, you know, it's just raw nature, you know, whether it's a pond or lake, uh, you know, they have nature trails and parks and things like that, you know, where you can go, or maybe, you know, go as a group, you know, and just, you know, take it all in. Take it all in. Just for an hour or two, just unplug from the world. I mean, because there's a lot of demand on each and every one of us. Imagine if you got a husband, you got a wife, you got kids, you got a mortgage, you got car notes, you got, you know what I'm saying? Then you got relatives and friends, and you know, just so much, you know what I'm saying, that's coming at us at one time. I get that that's kind of like normal these days. I mean, but does it really have to be normal? Or is that just something that we did, we just kind of fell into and it became normal? Maybe sitting back sometime, all alone by yourself, and not doing any of the things that you normally do on a daily basis, and just be still and listen. Just listen. You know, I believe that the answers to some of the things that you have questions about or whatever, I believe that you'll hear them. I believe you will get a better understanding of your situation that you might be in right now because you're confused. You don't quite understand what you're going through. You know, I think that taking time out of your day, of your week, or whatever, to just listen, be still. None of the other distractions, you know, not even like, dog, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. I think each person needs time, by themselves with nature, you know, with a clear mind, and just allow whatever is supposed to come to you, just come to you. I'm a firm believer in that. I'm a firm believer that there are signs and things that happen in life, and they're meant to happen. But I also feel that there are certain signs, especially with animals, birds to be exact, sparrows. That is kind of like my favorite bird. Uh, I think it has something to do with my mom. I think I just feel like I have encounters with sparrows sometimes, where they come like really close to me, like really close, unnaturally close, like it did today. And I don't know. I just felt like it was just a message to me, from my mother, who was a very religious woman, and sparrows do have, a great significance in the word of God. So that's why I got that from. Anyway, that's just for me. I don't know what it might be for you guys or whatever case may be, but like, um, I miss this. I really do. Um, just been so busy with life. But now that I think about it, I've been busy, but have I really been productive? Am I just spinning wheels? I think a lot of times we think that because we're going so fast that we're actually being as productive as we should be or can be, you know. But I don't think so. I don't think so because it takes time to sit down, come up with a plan, come up with goals inside those goals. Like it's kind of like a business plan. A business plan goes, into depth, you know, from the beginning to end, uh, as far as like the process of executing that plan goes. You know what I mean? So it takes time to do that. And our life, if you think about it, I just thought about this, man. It is kind of like a business. Real talk. Real talk. You know, it's about making decisions, that's going to either benefit your life or, make it hard. I think a lot of times we may make decisions, off of impulse and then end up having to um, pay for the consequences of that decision for a long time. So this really ties into uh, slowing down, because if you can slow down long enough and not allow your emotions or other influence to make you make a knee-jerk type decision, but you can actually process whatever you're feeling, uh, and then possibly even talk to someone else, talk to the universe, whatever your flow is, and then make a decision on something. That's slowing down. That is an example of like, okay, let me slow down, you know. And I don't know if that's emotional intelligence or just, being able to control your emotions, But it all ties into slowing down. and I need to do it more often. I do. You know what I'm saying? I'm not above anyone. Trust and believe in everything that, I share with you guys is because I see something in myself. And I personally believe that we're more alike than different. That's just my personal belief. You know what I mean? And that goes for all races. At the fundamentals of what we want as human beings, I think everyone wants the same thing. Now, will there be variations? Of course there will. But I'm talking about at the root of it, at the fundamental, you know, of being a human being. So listen, man, look, I ain't gonna hold y'all too much longer, man. I just thought I'd share some thoughts with y'all, man. You know, the topics that I sometimes come up with, I'm just coming up with them off the top of my head. Just like whatever is on my mind, whatever I'm feeling, if something happens, during the course of the day, and it's relevant to me, far be it from me to not share it with you guys. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, man, it's just about mental and emotional health. It's about, you know, understanding what our flaws are and being willing to do something about it, because we all, just trying to get it together, man. We all have things that we need to work on or work out. There is no perfect person. That's my belief. I know I'm not, you know. And so understanding that you have been moving too fast, or that is a pattern of yours, or, you know, um, you somehow grew into that by influence, because we be influenced by other people, whether it's parents or, people that's kind of close to, even sometimes friends, we see what they're doing and we emulate that. If they moving fast, they're going. You know what I'm saying? We like, okay, that's the right thing to do. That's what I should be doing. But maybe it's not for you. What's for you? What is for you? You know what I'm saying? That's good for them. That works for them. You feel me? But it might not work for you. That's why I'm telling you right now, slow down so you can understand your own identity first and foremost. Who are you though? Not who are you around other people, not who are you, at work, because we wear a lot of different masks at times. We all do. I'm guilty of it. Real talk, you know? But like, once you strip everything off, like, who are we? Who are you? You know what I'm saying? And to me, that is one of the most, um, hmm, I can't even describe the words. You know what I'm saying? It's liberating, if I had to use a word, you know, to understand who you are. And it's even better when you start to walk in that. Real talk. You know what I mean? And in order to get to that place, we got to slow down. I don't know who I'm talking to. I'm hoping I'm talking to a lot of people. But if it's just one, I'm good with that. You know what I'm saying? Because each one teach one. At the end of the day, each one teach one. That's how we do this thing, man. I think that's how our ancestors did it. Real talk. They work together, man. They work together, man. Let's not be envious of what another person has, or this, that, and the third, or whatever, man. Because at the end of the day, man, we all people, man. And we want the same things. Yeah, some of us might have made, different type of decisions and moved in a different way. I get that. But if I can have a conversation with you, if I can meet you on the street, at a store, whatever case may be, and we just started talking, man, listen, you'll pick up. You'll pick up on that person's spirit. You know what I'm saying? And how they vibing or whatever case may be. If you like me, you pick up on things. It's like your sensitivity as far as your spirit is just high. And you get in a room and you get around people, whatever, and you just like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like yes or no. Anyway, man, I'm running my mouth, man. Listen, man, y'all slow down, man. You're moving fast. You know what I'm saying? But are you really getting anywhere? Or are you recharging your body and your mind? You know what I'm saying? Or you just on 100, like constantly. Bruh, you can't keep going like that. You gotta unplug from all this. This for the women too, if y'all out there. You know what I'm saying? If your thing is, if you need to take a trip down, to the beach or whatever case may be for a weekend, you get what I'm saying? Either by yourself, that's the bet. Go by yourself. Go by yourself. Real talk. And just do you and move at your own pace, man. Don't be on the phone like that, whatever case may be. You got to receive calls. So I understand you can have it with you. But like, come on, man. Listen to the waves, man. You know what I'm saying? Look at the water, the seagulls and all that, man. Just take it all. Just relax, man. Just free your mind. Real talk, man. Slow down. And then tell me how you feel after that. Tell me how you feel after that. I want to know. Because I feel like you're going to be recharged. I feel like, you're going to have some clarity concerning certain things in your life. I feel like, something that we're thinking about implementing or doing or whatever, the stars will align, so to speak. And then it's like, okay, it's time to do that. Yeah, all that can happen. You can recharge, you can rest your body, rest your mind, your spirit, your soul, connect with the universe, and also receive clarity. You know what I'm saying? When we just close our mouths and just open up our ears. And I'm not talking about these physical ears. You know what I'm saying? I'm just talking about your spirit, your soul. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe we receive a lot of information through that, through that channel. And maybe that's why the world is the way it is. It wants to keep us so busy that we don't tap into that. We don't tap into that. You know what I'm saying? And in slowing down, it's probably we're going to find out that life will become a lot better than it is now. We got emails, man. People texting us, just so many ways that people, organizations, they're like competing for our time, bro. Because they know how important it is. They know how valuable it is. But do we know? Do we know? They want to keep us distracted. They want to keep us so busy, man, that we lose sight of what's really going on in this world. Yeah. Some major changes going on in this world. But if we always going, we always at work, we got to get in traffic. By the time you get home, it's time to cook, whatever, take a shower and do all these things, whatever. And then like, it's over. It's over. The day over with. You know what I'm saying? How much time do we spend just really like, thinking about what's going on around us or what's going on inside of us? Let's just be honest, man. Let's be honest. Keep it 100. Anyway, man, slow down, bro. Sis, slow down. You know what I'm saying? Go to a spa or something. I like nature, myself. That does it for me. I don't know what's going to do it for you, but listen, do that though. Real talk. You really need that in your life, whether you realize it or not. It's not even really optional, once you really start thinking about it. You need that. Because on a daily basis, things are changing and moving and this, that, and the third. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, man, I gotta go, man. It was good talking to y'all, man. I'm gonna sit out here for a little while, man, just take all this nature in. You know what I mean? Like I said, I don't get many days like this. And you probably don't either. You know what I'm saying? Uh, but you might have to start just taking a day for yourself. I used to call it a mental health day. Real talk. You know, they got all these holidays. They should have something like that once a month for all employees, everybody. Just slow down. I remember a time when Sundays were slow. That was a day when nothing, really moved too much. Yeah, I remember that. I'm telling my age now, but it was like that. Yeah. But anyway, man, I love y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. I'm about to get out of here. Like I said, enjoy this day, man. It's a beautiful day. I know some of y'all at work right now, but this weekend or sometime in the near future, just take some time for you. Put the phone down. Tell your friends you'll get back with them, but you need some time to yourself. Yeah, do something nice for yourself. And I mean, maybe you can go to a park or walk around down DC, Haines Point, whatever, and you can go and get you something to eat, just kind of date yourself. You know what I mean? Which actually sounds like a good idea, real talk. But yeah, man, slow down, take some time for yourself so you can hear from the universe, from the divine, so you can think about the direction that your life is going, and come up with solutions in order to like change it if need be. Real talk. But you got to slow down and do that. Man, I love y'all. I'm gonna talk to y'all later. Peace.